Hi BookTube. This is an awkward angle. I am at my desk and I thought it would be an interesting idea if I, went through the Goodreads Choice Awards and judged, I was going to vote, but I'm a little late, but I'm going to judge the winners based on covers, because I really highly doubt that I've read any of them. I may have heard of some of them, but I can say maybe 99% sure I haven't read any of them. So I thought this would be an interesting little experiment. I got a screen recording, and my cat to help me. You'll know, cats are very judgmental creatures, so I'm gonna, no, don't do that. So I'm gonna channel reggy judgy energy here while I do this. Okay, so on the Goodreads homepage, I haven't been using Goodreads, just because I wasn't using it. It was just annoying me, so it's been a while since I've been on here. So let's just see the winners. Best books of 2023. Also, these are the winners here. Okay, cool. Oh, this isn't going to be as bad as I thought it was going to be. There's a romantic... Okay, I've heard the term romantasy thrown about, but I didn't think it would be an actual term, but I guess it's popular enough now. So the winner for fiction looks to be Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. And actually, I've heard of this one. I've heard that this is what I've heard from what I remember from a few videos I've seen of people who've actually read this. It's about a Asian author and a white author. And the Asian author dies, and the white author steals her story, I think is the premise behind that. And that actually sounds semi-interesting. Like, if I found this book at the thrift store, I'd pick it up. Kind of interesting. I wonder if they, if we can find the categories. Which one would I vote for? I'm just going to purely go on cover here, because, as I said, I don't think I've heard of any of them besides Yellowface. So just purely looking at the covers, I would go for... Oh, see, this cover is really interesting, the Shark Heat, but then I read the subtitle, and I'm not interested in love stories. So I think then the next one that... this is a cool cover, Hello Beautiful. But... Nah, so the one I would vote for, purely based on cover, would be Blackouts by Justin Torres. Minds, lost histories, personal and collective, out in the desert in a place called the Palace. A young man tends to a dying soul. That actually does sound interesting. Okay, so that's the one I would have voted for. Historical fiction. I'm gonna assume... Oh, it tells you the winner at the top. Okay. So I would say I'm not into historical fiction, but if you watched my book on genres, I actually have a lot of historical fiction on my shelves. It's just that I think, when I think historical fiction, I think historical romance or World War II books. I have to... Ow! No! I'm not gonna edit this video. You're gonna see all this happening. But when I gotta rejigger that in my brain, that historical fiction is more than just that. So the winner is Wayward, which has pretty cool cover, I gotta say. He's knocking things down. Okay, yeah. So, Wayward looks interesting. We're gonna look, okay, this is historical fiction. I've heard of Lisa C. I think I have a few books on her shelf, but that book doesn't really appeal to me. This one does. That's really... And the cover's kind of cool, and the title's really cool. The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. But let's see, which one would I have picked here? See, this is I actually have this book, I believe. Or I have another one by her. But I don't like these kind of covers that are kind of generic, or like this one too, where it's just like a woman facing the back or facing the front, but you don't see her face. Yeah. See, there's so many of them. Um, so, or it's like just landscaping, or landscaping and women. Oh, look at that. Um, that's kind of cool. So I think, based totally on covers, the one I would go for is the Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. I do believe I have books by James McBride. I don't think I've read any, but he is on my shelf. So, yeah, historical fiction. The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store is what I would go for. I like that cover. Oh, is that a basketball? No. I'm not even going to look at the books because I can't add any more books to my TBR. So let's move on to mystery and thriller. So The Housemaid's Secret, I haven't heard of that book. To be honest, there's nothing really intriguing there for me. I have heard of Lisa Jewell and Riley Sager and Richard Osman. I love Richard Osman. I only know of him through the British like games, like game shows. He is a co-host on Pointless, so I know him through that, and I think he's been on QI a few times as well. So yeah, I am interested in reading his series. I think I have. I don't think I have it. I like the colors on this one. Bright Young Woman, the yellow and the purple. That's one thing about mysteries, or thrillers particularly, is that I wouldn't pay full price for a thriller book because it's a book I'm probably only going to read once. I guess, Ray, you thought this is not a good video. Hopefully you think it's a good video and you're still here and I'm still jabbering away. Because I think the thrill in thrillers is finding out the plot. I tend to have not a good time with the writing and characters and stuff like that, but the plot is what keeps me reading. These books, I will read them to the end, but they tend to be 1 or 2 stars for me. Most times. Unless they're like mysteries like this. But thrillers, yeah. So, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'd vote for Richard Osman just because I like the dude on Pointless. Romance is a genre that I don't read. I have heard of Emily Henry. I have heard of Love Theoretically. I watch a lot of people, not that I'm subscribed to them, but I watch a lot of people's like TBRs and stuff like that. And they tend to, there's a lot of romance readers on BookTube, so that's where I recognize those two from. Can I tell you what they're about? Not really. So, there we go. Okay. King of Pride. That sounds interesting. Maybe like a... I don't know. I don't know the plot of romance. The guy falls in love with another guy because it says pride in the title. Yeah, I also don't like these like cartoony Canva. I call them Canva designs. They seem like I'm not just here to rail on romance novels though. So if I had to vote for one of these, it'd probably be this one, King of Pride. Has the most unique, well, like these 3 here are all kind of unique covers. But this one looks like someone buying a house. Dreamland Billionaires. Like, I don't want to read about rich people. That's one of my... There's like two words I can think of right now off the top of my head where I will not pick up the book if it has that in the title. If the concentration of the book is on the marriage, definitely don't want to read it. And if it's about rich people. I like reading about rich people. But this is a king. It's kind of different. I'm thinking it might be a bit fantasy. I don't know. There we go. So, King of Pride is what I would have voted for. Let's go to Romantasy. Okay, so I have heard of Fourth Wing. Let's see. I don't know if I've heard some of these, because, to be honest, some of the titles are something like it's the blah, blah, and blah. Or blah, and blah, and blah. They're kind of like generic titles. So let's just See, like these are these. Oh, these are no, they're not even all by the same person. These I would think were all in the same series, but they're not. Okay, I'm not here to blast romantasy. Which, based on what cover, which one would I go for? This one is kind of cool. I don't know. That looks like a skull or a like a Greek helmet. And it mentions Hades here in this little pop-up. I wish that didn't pop up because then I wouldn't know what it was about. But I'd vote for this Game of Gods book. Sure. That's one I would have voted for, based on the cover. Let's go to fantasy. No, I don't keep up with fantasy. I don't keep up with a lot of new releases. That's just, it's too much work for me. I'd rather not. I have heard of Hellbound. This is the second book. Yeah, Ninth House. Is that the one with the snake on the cover? Because I think I have that book. I picked it up at the grocery store, at the thrift store. I have heard of Samantha Shannon, and this is a prequel, The Priory of Orange Tree. I think I have that book too. I have heard of Brandon Sanderson, of course, because how can you not have heard of Brandon Sanderson? Even I don't get Brandon Sanderson. He hasn't blown me away. Well, I've only read Mistborn and his Wheel of Time continuation. So, but he's not someone. And I'm not bashing them. I'm just saying these kind of books don't appeal to me. The Encyclopedia of Fairies. That sounds cool. Bookshops and Bone Dust. I saw this and this, yeah, Legends and Lattes. I kind of want to read that one. So I kind of know about this book. Let's see. Ooh, Medusa. I feel like there's been a lot of Medusa and like Greek retellings. See, there's Clytemnestra. This one looks like it may be Greek too. The Will of the Many. Okay. Atalanta. That probably is. Oh, Electra yeah, I can't say that. Sir. I am familiar with Cherry Demoline, and this is actually marked as want to read because I think there was a giveaway for it. And of course, like Salman Rushdie. Oh, Martha Wells. She writes the Murderbot Diaries. But I think I'd vote for the Encyclopedia of Fairies because that sounds like an interesting title, and that's I like Busy too. Like, I love this cover too, but I don't know, I like this dark cover. So that's the one I would have voted for. Science fiction. I actually bought my first, well, I didn't buy it, I got it at a free little library, TJ Klune book. I wanted to check them out. Oh, okay, no, Automatic, cat on the cover. John Scalzi, I've read a few books by him, Old Man's War and Red Shirts, so I think do I look at all the rest of them? Like, System Collapse? Like, there's another Murderbot. Oh, this book is actually on my December TBR, Chain Gang All-Stars. Okay, see, I kind of know science fiction better because it's one of my favorite series. John Mars is really good too. I read, he really takes these ideas and plays with them. I read one about self-driving cars, and I can't remember what it's called, but it was really good. And I have the one as well, which is about, like, you get a DNA test and it finds you, like, your perfect match. Oh, which sounds interesting. Like, do I even go down any further? Like, oh, this sounds cool. I keep my exoskeletons to myself. Let's see, what else here? Looks interesting. Okay. So, I mean, I know, like, this is also a really cool cover. The Chain Gang All-Stars is a cool cover, but I'd have to go with the cat in the suit. Obviously, I have no idea what it's about. Starter villain. Just, yeah. But this one, all of their covers look the same. They have, like, the same artist. You can tell. Makes me feel like it's in a series. But yeah, I'm looking at the cat, of course. Horror! Well, Stephen King, I recognize, obviously. Grady Hendrix. Did this book just come out this year? I felt like this was an older book. Okay. Oh, Vampires of El Norte. I vaguely think there's someone talked about that book. That sounds kind of cool, and I like the cover there. Um, okay, I know Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and I'd probably read something by her too. That's an interesting callback, like a retro kind of cover. Um, let's see. Nothing's really. Oh, this one. This is a book I would pick up in the store and look at. Boy who transformed into a monster who tries to be a man. Monstrilio by Gerardo Semano Cordova. So Monstrilio would be my pick. Just solely based on covers. Yeah. I think Stephen King one because it's Stephen King. Young adult fantasy and science fiction. Let's get into it. Let me see. I've never heard of Divine Rivals, I think. This is also a genre that I recognize Cassandra Clare's name. I haven't read anything by her. I tried to watch the Shadowhunter show and I just couldn't take it seriously. I'd probably watch it, like, if I knew it was meant to be stupid on purpose. Okay, so this is totally gonna be based on cover, because I don't keep up with YA at all. I do recognize Chloe Gong. Actually, she is one of the exceptions of, like, I randomly picked up her Romeo and Juliet retelling, and it was actually pretty good. So that's pretty cool. Oh, I love the colors on this. Threads That Bind. That's the winner so far for me. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Threads That Bind. And that sounds like it might be, Greek Fates. I was gonna say quantum physics, but Greek Fates too. That works. Okay. Young adult fiction. How many genres are there? There's a lot, sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna go through this quickly. Young adult fiction. Oh, that's a cool cover. It's like a brain, but it's a dress. That's impressive. We got more of these, like, Canva covers here. Yeah, oh, that's a cool cover too. But, like, immediate response to this one, so that would be the one that I would vote for if we ignore the fact that it says a love story at the bottom. I'm not going to click want to read. I'm looking for debut novel next. I didn't realize there's so many. Oh, Wayward One again. So that must be, like, a really popular book. I'm not going to say good, because just because it's popular doesn't mean it's good. Ooh, this is nice and simple, but it strikes me also as kind of like the Instagram poetry. So it's just... I might have to go with this one, because it is on my TBR this month. But I also clicked on this one at one point. Bandit Queens. That's an interesting cover. I like the black and the bright colors. I already talked about Shark Heart. That one kind of looks cool, except for the fact that it says a love story. This one's cool too. But I think oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna go for one that I hadn't voted for already. Voted in quotation marks. I'm gonna go with the Bandit Queens. Sure. How many more? Oh, nonfiction. I might recognize more nonfiction, because I'm more interested in nonfiction. Poverty by America. That actually sounds quite interesting. But my problem is that these types of nonfiction books concentrate solely on the US, and I'd like to, like, know more, like, poverty across the world or in another world, because, like, I get it. Like, I'm kind of, not that, like, if you're American I'm sick of you, but I'm sick of things being so much about, like, the US. It's like in Canada, I got so frustrated that I'm off on a tangent right now. Let me go on it. Okay, so, like, every year in Toronto there'd be this event called Word on the Street, and it was like getting authors together in their different workshops, and authors giving speeches and interviews and workshops and talks, and you could shop for books, and everyone's like, oh, buy this, it takes place in Toronto, oh, buy this, it takes place in Toronto. I was like, you know, Toronto's not like the only place in Canada, right? Like, oh, it's just so frustrating. It's like the US, there's more countries in the world than just the United States. Tangent over. Butts, a nonfiction story, but that's interesting. That is intriguing. I feel like this cover has been done a lot. It's interesting, but I've seen it too much now. Yeah, let's see what else is here. Eve. That's cool. And the concept too, how the female body drove 200 million years of human evolution. That would be something I'd pick up. Yeah, a lot of them seem like inspirational or self-help. That sounds interesting too. Monsters. I don't know what I'd vote for. I think I'm gonna go for butts, because, like, how long is this book? And, like, how can you write a whole book about butts? Like, Tina Belcher is in her glory. Yeah, this is not written by Heather Redkey. This is Tina Belcher's pen name. Just exposing her there. Memoir and autobiographies. Of course, Britney Spears won. I'm not interested enough to pick it up. I'll hear the bits and pieces. I'm not interested really in, like, celebrity memoirs, to be honest. Yeah, this one sounds cool though. Maggie Smith. You Can Make This Place Beautiful, just because that title sounds really good. Poet Maggie Smith? Okay, so maybe that's not the Maggie Smith. It's not Dame Maggie Smith. Okay, not as interested anymore. I have read Counting the Cost. I wish she had gone deeper in it, but okay, we're not doing commentary. Judging based on cover. This is an interesting title, and it's semi-interesting cover. Let's see. Covers. I feel bad judging autobiographies and memoirs. Oh god. Sorry. Like, Ginger. If you wanted, like, deep, you go for Jill. If you wanted just, like, very surface, it's Ginger. I know too much about the Duggars. Oh gosh. I really, like, I'm not really interested in reading Elliot Page's book, but this is an interesting cover. I like the way it's framed. So I'd vote for that one. Okay, history and biography. And this is more, okay, nonfiction. Oh, definitely not that one. Is it? Bill O'Reilly wrote about the Salem Witch Trials. That'd be an interesting... I'd like to hear a review of that book. I wouldn't actually like to read that book. Ew. Again. Just... This cover is appealing to me. Pathogenesis. A History of the World in 8 Plagues. I don't know if I'm ready to read about plagues. Gosh. They don't really have the greatest covers. I just based on cover. Pathogenesis. I'm sorry for having Elon on the screen. Yeah. That's what I'd go for. Okay. Humor. Okay, so I saw this book in the store, actually, and I was like, that sounds actually interesting. I'm really interested in cults, but I don't know how much about cults it is, or it's just, like, something weird. I do have books by Samantha Irby on my shelf. I haven't read them yet. I like this title and this cover. That sounds cool. Strong female character. Let's see. That's an interesting title. I'm going by title. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with... See, that's mostly just based on title. I'm gonna go for this one, which has an interesting cover to me anyways. And I wonder, too... I need to read more about Samantha Irby, but I know that... Just... wonder what the skunk is in reference to. And that's it! That's it. I talked for 25 minutes, so I'm gonna shut up now. Do you, like, vote on the Goodreads choice? Do you use Goodreads? And yeah, do you agree with my choices of what I picked based on cover? Because I hadn't read any of these books, except for one. I read the Jill Duggar book, but that's about it. So let me know, and thank you for watching.